What we're gonna try to attack today is get the radiator and AC out, undo that tube, and then the radiator should pull out of here, and then get the power steering out of here, get the fluid, drain the fluid, and get the hoses taken off. And then down inside there is the steering rack, so we gotta undo the line, or the bar that goes up to the steering wheel from down there, and then probably undo the brakes from the calipers so that we can maybe right here just disconnect the brake lines so that this part stays with the body and this part stays with the suspension. Do stuff like that. Same on this side. Then we'll make sure all the wiring's disconnected. Get the AC disconnected from the engine or something. I'm not sure how we'll do that yet. So that's right down there is the AC compressor, but then it's got the lines that go up and across. So we'll do that, and then we'll work on underneath here, take out that cross brace, get the exhaust out all the way from the engine all the way back, and then undo the rear brakes and try and get the rolling unit or the drivetrain to drop out of this thing. So we'll get started. Lucky for us, the AC is already drained from the accident, I'm assuming. Like that, and then there's a line over here. Since the rest of this video is pretty much just taking apart random hoses and bits and pieces here and there, I'm gonna just do it on time lapse. So we took apart the AC, took out drained the power steering fluid, and then right here we're just disconnecting the power steering fluid lines, and then pulled off the cooling tube and tried draining as much as we could. It's really hard on this kind of trombone thing to get all the oil out of it. And then of course we spilled some more coolant and couldn't get that off, so we ended up cutting it with the Sawzall, cutting the hose. So then right here we're just draining the power steering fluid, and now we're looking at the cooling lines going to the heater core, pulling those off and making another mess. Undid the battery cable, just working on those two metal hose tubes that go across the back of the engine on the firewall up there now. Oh, here Antonio was working on trying to get that little shroud out, but that didn't work, so he left it in there. So we just moved on to the cooling line again. So the goldish colored one is the heater line, and the silver aluminum one that I just took out is the AC line. This one's the cooling line. Now I'm gonna pull the power steering reservoir off and make a mess with it. Working on the lines again. So here we start messing with the why did I forget what it's called? Fuel. These are little clips that hold the fuel lines on. And then getting rid of the excess coolant hose. I think at this point we have most of the hoses and wires off. of the engine to frame, and here we're undoing the brake lines so that we can drain brake fluid on the ground and have it disconnected from the body. And then we're undoing the shocks. And then in the back, this shock tower goes up into that area right there. So looking inside, that's up behind the plastic, so we have to take out that plastic all the way around because it's all intertwined and back behind each other, so those little clips just kind of pop out. So it looks like there's a bunch of these little clips, and how you pop it out with your fingernail, and then they pop out. Put my head in the way. I don't know which one you can see. There's nothing that you can see in there. From the video, I can't really see that you can see in there, so I didn't know what you could see. But you just stick your fingernail in it and pop it out. Luckily, my fingernails are a little bit long right now. I need to trim them. This is my hoodie. So once you get all the pieces disconnected, you can pull them out, and then you see the cover that protects the fuel hose, and the shock tower is behind there. From here I messed up and blurred out and then stopped recording, but you take off that little nut there, and in order to get back there you have to take out the fuel hose and stuff. So now we're undoing the stuff underneath, took off that little cross brace, and then we're undoing the exhaust. And up here on the front, these ones were a little hard to get undone, so we ended up spraying them and then just using the impact wrench on them, and they came right off. So now the front two mounting places of the exhaust are undone, so we got to go to the back, and there's 4 rubber mounts that hold the muffler in place, 2 on each side. And so we just used mostly a flat blade screwdriver and maybe 2 sometimes, and just pried it over the nub on the end of the thing. It was kind of a hard process, but eventually you get it. You gotta just pry on the end of the stud with the screwdriver, and then it pops off. Now I switched to the other side if you didn't notice that. And then once we get this last one undone, we moved the jacks around and pulled the exhaust pipe out. So there you have it. That's what we got done today. Hopefully we can get some more done tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.